So Rashai and I have been kind of getting ready for this podcast today, and I got her over here giggling. But so I don't really have an awesome intro other than, hey, look, I've got Rashai back today.
Yay! I'm so happy to be back.
so I had her goofing off and being silly, and now we have no intro for this podcast, but we do have a kind of good topic.
Yes, definitely. Like I kind of am not mad at it not having an intro because it's so common. I don't even think we could nail it down to one thing, but something that has been coming up on all of my, quite literally all of my client calls has to do with enrollment, and for this school year specifically. You know, like we know that enrollment has been going down on a consistent basis, but this year compared to others is starkly different. And we keep having this conversation on our calls. I'll use it for example, like for our multiple year clients who have did no show with us for the past couple of years.
Slow down, boss.
Okay.
Slow down, boss, man. You are.
Sorry, I'm just ready to get into this.
You are. I'm glad you're excited, man, but we got to provide a little context here.
Definitely.
Okay? So you're talking about the fact that, well, if you're not a longtime listener of this podcast, we represent public schools, traditional, the best, the most awesome public schools. Yep. That's what we represent. And so you, in your role, have a lot of conversations with enrollment teams, superintendents, CFOs, directors of comms, all those things, right? And in your job, you've been hearing questions regarding, right now we're in September. I think this podcast will go out just right at the beginning of October, about declining enrollment in traditional public schools.
Correct.
So we need to kind of frame that. Now, there is some issues about enrollment going down in general in the United States, but we got to keep this compartmentalized. Don't eat the elephant.
For sure.
Right now, okay? So, and I don't want to talk about no-shows. Now she said this magical word called no-shows, but no-shows in a lot of school districts are students that the district thought was returning that maybe enrolled or they automatically enrolled and they didn't show up.
Right.
So where are they? What's happening? But that is a compounding issue of enrollment in general.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you got to keep it simple for me. You know, I'm not that smart.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Dumb it down. Okay. So you've been getting a lot of questions and you said, Brian, we got to talk about all these questions I've been getting. And I haven't heard these questions yet. So it's time to play. Drum roll, please. Da 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 da. I don't know if Jackson can put a drum roll in.
Yeah.
Stump the Chump. And I'm going to be the chump. Okay. And so do it like Jeopardy, Rashai. Don't give me a bazillion questions. All like, look, I'm an old lawyer. No compound questions. No more.
Okay.
Tell me what you're hearing and what's going on, buddy.
What makes this year drastically different than previous years as far as projections?
Well, let's use this word drastically. Let's talk about this role. I think it's not. Look, I know it feels drastic. It feels like a surprise to a lot of districts, but it's not a surprise to many districts. Many districts predicted this. They knew it was coming. They've been planning for it. They've been recruiting students. They've been consolidating budgets. That's probably not a vast majority of districts, but it is a lot. And so the word, I think about a frog. I know, right? Like, how does a frog come in? So do you know how I'm not going to recommend anyone do this, okay? But there's an old adage about, if you throw a frog in a pot of boiling water, Rashai, what happens to that frog? What does it do?
It's going to try to jump out.
It jumps right out. Yeah. It jumps right out. Boom. It's out of there because it's dramatic and it's extreme and it's shocking. And the frog boogies out. But if you really actually want to boil a frog, don't do this, anyone.
Oh.
You put the water, you put the water lukewarm and you slowly turn it up and the frog never notices that pot is now boiling and it boils alive because it's subtle. And so the predictive analysis for years are that lots of things have been going on that infect enrollment.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't want to get into a whole school choice thing like from the 1950s, but in the last 4 to 5 years, school choice has been on the rise.
Yes.
Okay. So parents have more choices, but let's talk about the big effects. So there's about 50 million students nationwide in the K-12 space. About 50 million. Well, it used to be that 45 million of those went to traditional public schools.
Yeah.
Well, now the estimates are around 30 million. So So where do they go, right? Like, why are they not in our schools, right? Okay, so that's the real question, because right now we still have about the same number of students, but it is on a decline. So the big elephant in the room we cannot deal with is birth rates.
Definitely, yeah.
Lowering birth rates will affect everyone's student counts. Okay, but it's an excuse. It's an excuse for any district, in my opinion, or any school to say, well, we have lowering birth rates, so we just have to accept lowering student counts. Well, there's always ebbs and flows on student populations, the number of births, right? And we're a lot of nations around the world are dealing with lowering birth rates. I can't fix that.
Right.
No, I mean, I shouldn't fix that. You know what I mean? You shouldn't either. You got 2 babies.
Exactly.
You can no more children.
No.
Rashai. Like, you got your 2.
We're done.
You're good. I don't have control over that, but I think you're done, right?
Right.
2 is great for you. They're great kids.
Definitely.
So I don't need you having 100 kids just to fix that. Now, I'm encouraging great, talented, good parents, people that want to try, go and have kids. Okay. That's about all we can do right now, right? Like, I can't do anything about that. But for a school district, I used to hear this a few years ago. Well, lowering birth rates, there's nothing we can do. Well, that's a piece. You need to be aware of it. You can't control who moves to your city typically. And so if you live in a city that's fast growing, the lowering birth rates aren't really going to affect you.
Yeah.
Right. If you live in a city that's on the decline, well, you got lowering birth rates and people moving out. Yeah. Moving out. So those are going to affect you too. So go meet with your city government. Go meet with your tourism board. Go meet with your chamber of commerce, your business community. Let's get your city growing. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if you got time for that, but that's the answer how you cure that first bucket.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you hearing anybody talking about the lowering birth rates? Are they using that as an excuse?
Very rarely. I don't recall hearing it a lot.
Well, you Rashai are only getting some of the school districts. And I got to tell you, and this is going to sound funny, but they are the best. I mean, they're the best because they're hiring, not because they're hiring us, but they're being very proactive on dealing with this. Okay. So, but I hear, because I deal with lots of state legislatures. I'm at a lot of conferences. I'm speaking to different congresses and things like that. And a lot of districts are like, well, it's low birth rate. What can we do? Well, I'm going to encourage you to think that there are other reasons that are in your control.
In your control.
Okay.
Right.
Socrates showed us the way thousands of years ago. Control your controllables.
Control your controllables.
All right. So the next reason why is, well, let's talk about COVID for a little bit.
Yes.
And this is kind of scary to me. And there's 2 facets of what happened after COVID. Is people got disenfranchised, stopped having good habits like going to work every day, going to school every day, whatever. And then you almost get this like disenfranchised students. Like, so you got 2 different buckets. You got millions of kids now. The estimates are somewhere between 3 to 5 million. So let's just use 4. Kids that aren't going to school at all. Now, that is some of the highest percentage of the total population of students that I could ever find any stats on. So if anybody's got a better stat that says like, oh, in 1935, there was, so if you got 50 million, you got 4 million, that's 8%. That's 8% of the children that are age appropriate aren't in any school at all. I've seen variations of numbers on that as high as 5 or 6 and as low as like 1 million or 2. So we're going to use 4.
Still a lot.
Well, it's devastating.
Very.
Can you imagine 8% of the total population of the United States not knowing how to do 1 + 1 is 2, that the earth is flat? I mean, 8% are going to be feral. Now, I get during the Middle Ages and the infancy of our United States before we had free, there were a lot of kids that, but if you go back and read like the journal entries of like the Revolutionary War soldiers, they could write, they could read, they could do some cool stuff. Not all of them, but they could still like,
communicate.
Well, they could fix a wagon. They could do lots of things that they needed to do at the time, right? So we as a civilization now in 2025 can't afford to have an uneducated workforce, an uneducated population. So that group right there, and it's in every single city. You have children that aren't in school at all. I would start to think about that. And so the schools have got to get them re-engaged. And then you have drop off of older kids, 15, 16, 17 years old. And they just kind of, it used to be that we had truancy officers and people cared about the law and you were going to get arrested if you were out of school, if you were playing video games. Yeah. Like little Brian Stephen was at 14 instead of in 7th grade, right? They'd come get me. I mean, when I skipped school. When I skipped school, I was scared about a truancy officer. I was looking around my shoulder. Man, I hope the truancy officer doesn't grab me.
Yeah.
We just don't have those anymore. And so now you've got a little bit lowering birth populations. Now you get 5 to 8% kids just not going to school. And then you get some of these older kids that just decide they're not going to go back, and nobody's really there to police that. So, oh my gosh, reason, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have school choice and options. So it used to be, you got to think about it like this. It used to be that we had one Ma Bell telephone company. You're too young to remember Ma Bell, aren't you?
Ma Bell. I mean, Alexander Graham Bell.
Okay, well, it was named after him, but he went around, man. That's funny. So we had one big like universal phone carrier in the United States, like just one big monopoly, and it went away, and they broke it up, and they had the baby bells. They had all these little phone companies, aka AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint. They didn't exist when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But they broke up the monopoly, and now instead of everyone going to one telephone provider, you have a choice. Right. You have a choice. And as Americans, we like choice. We like choice. Now, I don't like school choice the way it's done now. Don't get me wrong. It's done like a train wreck. Okay, but anyway, we can get to that if you want. So now you've got lowering birth rates. You've got disengaged children, which is a big concern of mine. Like we went and enrolled students at a homeless shelter last year, a couple of different ones in multiple states. Man, that's rewarding. Man, get the kids like, hey, we're gonna have a bus come by and pick you up right here from the homeless shelter. We're not gonna report you. We're gonna get you kids. We're gonna feed you. We're gonna get you a book. We're gonna get you a pewter, whatever. So there are solutions to those issues. And then you've got school choice, which is, well, if a person has a buying decision, what are you as a school, as a teacher, as a parent that believes in whatever school you're in, what are you doing to get them to pick you? And if you have not been in the game, school district, of getting them to pick you, it's going to feel, what was the word you used earlier? Drastic. Well, of course it's going to feel drastic.
Yes.
Because you're not in the game to compete. You're not out there presenting your best foot forward. And I got asked this the other day by a state representative. He goes, well, should they be using money to compete? Should they be using money to recruit kids? I mean, and to market themselves. They should just do their jobs. Well, if they do, they're going to die. I mean, I didn't make the rules, but if you've got a phone carrier and you don't advertise it to anybody, you're going to get any clients?
No.
No.
A couple?
No. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe your mom and your sister.
Literally.
Gets on, but nobody else. Well, what's it? You're going to cross your fingers and hope that they know how awesome you are?
Exactly.
I mean, I guess I don't get the mentality of people that were, I kind of do. I don't know, Rashai. It's how do you deal with someone that wishes it was still 1985 and there was no school choice?
Right.
Well, then guess what? It's going to feel drastic, and you're going to be shocked, and you're all. And so it's been and look, the competitive schools, the private schools, the charter schools, the home schools, the virtual schools, they are stepping up their game every year.
Yes, definitely.
So they're if your enrollment's going down much larger than the population decline of your community, that means you're not in the competitive game. Now, if it's going down in the same proportion as the decline of children in your area, then I think you're probably doing a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably doing a great job. But the charter schools and all the competitive schools, I'm not trying to pick on just charter schools, but home schools, they're getting the kids from somewhere. They're taking them from you because you're the biggest elephant in the room. You're the biggest way. That's where
the source. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's where they recruit from. And so that you start having all these factors, and all of a sudden you wake up and you go, holy cow. And I can get into what to do about this if you want to, but the reasons are declining birth rates, population migration, massive school choice, post-pandemic effects. So I think that those are the main drivers.
Yeah. And then when we were talking about it earlier this week, it's just those main drivers. It's not like they just popped up overnight. This has been happening progressively, you know?
Yeah. And principals and teachers, and they got to worry about training these kids every day.
Right.
And they got to worry about getting their curriculum and their planning done every single day. It's a lot to stomach. It's a lot to think about. And hopefully through vehicles like this podcast, we can provide awareness, because I'm not mad at anybody. I don't blame anybody. I think it's our job to help educate people on, one, that school choice is here. It's not going anywhere, like it or not.
Yeah.
And this is what I talked to a state representative about the other day. Well, we want to end it. We're anti. You're not going to end anything. You're not going to put Ma Bell back together again.
Yeah.
Humpty Dumpty has fallen off the wall. He is. Was Humpty Dumpty a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Okay. So Humpty Dumpty broke. Humpty Dumpty is not getting put back together again. So this is the reality that we've got. Like it or not, once monopolies have been uncorked in the United States, they never get put back together.
Right.
So we got to stop being upset by it. Now we should make sure that the rules of that game are much better than they are now, because the way school choice is designed now is terrible.
Yeah.
And that will cause a dramatic loss of students to your competitive schools.
Yeah.
Especially if you believe that you're all on the same team. We were talking to school district the other day. I want to represent them. I want to help them. But the problem is they're so in bed with their competitors, but their competitors are not in bed with them. It's like, we're going to give everything to these other schools. We're going to give them our extracurricular activities, access to all these things. We're going to count them today. We're going to do all these great things. Meanwhile, they're losing, I think that district is $13,000 a student is what they got. They're losing $13,000 for every student that goes across the street, even though they're providing all these resources. But I'm like, wait a minute. Coke does not let Pepsi be on the same fountain drinks when you go to a store. If you've ever gone to a restaurant, it is not Coke, Pepsi, Diet Dr.
Right.
No, it's Coke products.
All Coke products
or all Pepsi
products.
And what's wrong with that? It's America.
Exactly.
It's America. Let's, but you don't have to hate the competition to compete.
Right.
You know, I buy Grace. When I'm competing, I want to win, but then I want to hug him and go get a beer afterwards. Like, it doesn't have to be ugly, but you are competing for these kids.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, you guys aren't really ready for competition. You have board members that are on private school boards also. And what? That's good for you, but
contradictory.
But, well, it is like saying, I'm going to be on Coke's board and Pepsi's board, and I'm going to get both sides. And it's like, I know it's not your fault, but competition's here. So anyway, so yeah, I think it, to minimize declines, you've got to be competitive. You got to look at these trends, and you've got to get the kids that aren't going to school back in school. And those are all big drivers. But I was at a school board, and this is a client of ours now. They've been a client for a long time, and a school board member who got voted out, by the way. I don't know why that's interesting to me, but they got voted out. This was the last board meeting. But he gets up there and he goes, now, wait a minute. If they're enrolling students, how come our enrollment's going down? Well, buddy, it would have gone down a lot more without us.
Hello. Yeah.
We proved we got you 800 students.
Yeah.
And their comms department, great job too. They got like 1,000 new people enrolled. So in conjunction with the communications team and the market, man, we got a lot more students, but their population was still going down. So this wasn't about school choice in their area. School choice was still prevalent, but we had to get some people to, like, new movers that have come to the area to pick us versus private schools and vouchers and all that.
Yeah.
But there's so many facets. It's not just one thing you've got to think about.
Right. And that's exactly what I was going to ask, because when it comes to competing, there are a lot of facets, and it's kind of up to each district to figure out which facet is at risk the most. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, sure. I mean, if you're in a district and you don't have any competition, you don't have vouchers in your state, you don't have a bunch of private schools or charter schools, you know, and your enrollment's lowering, right? Well, then I would look at I would look at two distinct buckets. I would look at, what is the demographics of the community? Do we need to expand our footprint? Do we need to try to get more people to move here? Should we be working with the Realtors Association and the Chamber and the mayor to try to get more people to move here because we want more students? You could spend time on that.
Right.
Or you could also spend time on the children that are not at school at all. So those should be the two buckets you should work on. Now, if you have competition, the lowest hanging fruit for you is to compete. And then also to deal with the kids that aren't in school at all. That's still competition. But it is a monumental task to change demographics of geography.
Yes.
People to move to a community. That takes, I mean, you should be involved in that, but you are one, as a school district or teacher or whatever, one really small piece to that, you know, but yeah, you should absolutely prioritize your time. So which one should you work on? Well, lots of competition, compete. No competition. Worry about the kids that aren't in school. If you've got everybody there, try to get more people to move to your community. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Perfect breakdown, because that's definitely a lot of times when we're talking, there are different aspects that they want to work on, but they have to be prioritized for sure.
Well, you have to. The word prioritize is such an interesting word to me because it means one. Literally, I think it's Latin for one. Priority is Latin for one. You can have one priority. Well, that's not really the world we live in. We say prioritize like all your top 1,000 things. Well, you can do a bunch of things really poorly and not move the needle.
Yes.
Okay, not move the needle one bit.
Yeah.
And so the great leaders, met tons of great leaders in schools, superintendent school. I've learned so much from school leadership.
Yeah.
And they know this. They know that they're going to pick one or two things and try to do them really, really well, and then add to those components. But yeah, you've got to know where the boat is leaking. You know, and then you can, if you got 8 leaks, deal with the biggest leak first, and then kind of work your way down as you get control of it, realizing it's always going to leak a little.
Yeah.
You're never going to have perfection on any of these fronts. But it is interesting. I was speaking with a district that I started to consult on communicating on why families should move to their suburban school district versus the other suburban school district. They don't have open enrollment in that area. So it's once you live in that area, you live in that area. And they just wanted to kind of get some new movers connected. So we built a communication plan. And I think that's great. They're not attacking anybody. They're not saying anybody's bad. Right. They're just saying, look, here's the awesome things we have. If you like that, pick a house over here. Okay. And that's what I think it's about. You know, I mean, Americans can move freely in the entire United States. So be careful with that. I used to hear elected officials a long time ago say, well, they got to do business with us. No, they don't. They can just move. They can just take their business. They can take their headquarters somewhere else. It's easy.
Yeah.
So we have to be very cognizant of that. Yeah.
Okay. One more thing. We kind of didn't hit on this, but I came across this during my prep and kind of research for this. So when it comes to every year, even with multiple year clients where we get new data or we're exchanging like the verification list or whatever the case may be, tracking comes up, you know? And so when it comes to, a lot of districts are starting to explore these CRMs and like these different platforms that might help them stay organized or be able to track, and are maybe being sold that they will do the recruiting or something similar to it.
So okay, you Stump the Chump.
I'm sorry.
No, it's great. It's great. You almost got me. Okay, when Rashai says CRM, it means a
customer relationship manager.
So it's a tool, but it's a sales pipeline. Okay, basically. Typically, you guys probably heard of Salesforce, HubSpot, things like that, but it's a pipeline where you dump in everybody like at the beginning of it, and it kind of, the pipeline shrinks as you eventually enroll people.
Yes.
We build CRMs to enroll students and keep their students and get them to show up if they're chronically absent. Like we build those CRMs, but it is for one very unique purpose: getting and keeping the students.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, our components of our CRMs that we build, very customized for districts, have very specialized communications tools to get somebody to act and do something. It is a bear, but without live calling and real people and door knocks and all those other things. So we embed our CRM with all those different activities, but it is not designed to keep their grades and to keep their all the different things that an SIS does, a student information service. And what I am seeing now is companies that claim that their student information system, which sends emails and text messages, let's say, is going to enroll students. Good luck. It won't.
Right.
I mean, it'll communicate with people, but I would be really cautious. I'd be really cautious with that because you end up spending a lot of money on communication streams that don't have impact.
Yeah.
And in order to get somebody to do something, to pick you, the science is 9 to 21 contacts at every single stage in the pipeline, in the CRM. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of asking and communicating and explaining and curing problems you have to do for the student in that system. So we only do dedicated, this feels like a sales pitch, whatever you get an order, make sure it does these things, it is only dedicated to getting the student to complete the enrollment and showing up to school,
Mm-hmm.
or for students at risk of leaving school, or for students that haven't showed up.
Yes.
Like, so if you have a chronically absent student,
Yep.
and you just send them text message emails, you're going to get text message emails response. A lot of times it's crickets. I mean, we get as many as 15,000 messages a day.
Mm.
Now, latest Harvard study, I got to check out. This is probably from last year, actually. And I don't know if it's the latest one, but it's last year's. 15,000 messages a day. 15,000. How do you cut through that? You have to be real purposeful, and you have to be real tight and real dedicated to not trying to communicate anything else other than that one thing you want.
Yeah.
I want you to enroll, and I want to show you why we're the most awesome sauce in the universe.
Right.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works. But everybody's going to get on this enrollment kick, and there's going to be so many programs that don't work. I mean, we've tried so many different ways, like asking the teachers to go door to door and ask parents to enroll. Man, we tried it. And a teacher is trained and is an expert at
teaching.
Oh, it's in the name. It's in the name. It's in the name, right? I get it. Yeah, it's for teaching. If you want them to be a really good teacher, you need to focus on teaching.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to get them, even if you give them a grant to go knock on doors. Man, knocking on doors and asking somebody to buy a vacuum cleaner is tough. And that's, I hate to use an analogy, but it's door-to-door salesman. Door-to-door salesman is a totally different job, takes a totally different personality than a teacher.
Yes.
I mean, woo, we Lord Almighty. So if you're going to get one of these CRM systems that a SIS offers,
right,
it's a communications tool, but it's not a door-to-door salesman. So just be careful with that. I'm not saying you need to communicate to everybody in general.
Yeah.
But let's talk about, you're talking about data. I don't know if I'm going down the right road that you want me to, but you were talking about data and list. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's
more so like tracking them or keeping them organized. You know, I don't know if that's a part of what these SIS are selling as well, but I know that it's an issue that.
But trying to find, the issue is if you're, the SIS is, I would assume in most districts have their students or recently left students.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do to talk to the students that have never gone to your school?
Right.
You got to go find them. You got to go find that information because if you want to increase enrollment, certainly the ones that have left you are vital. Great. I dig it. I love it. But what about the kids that have never been there? And this is the thing that has shocked me. It's less in the last couple of years, but 3 or 4 years ago, competition for schools was still really prevalent in a lot of states.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd have some people go, but they're going to come to us. They're automatically going to enroll with us. Well, no, you got thousands now that never enrolled in you to begin with.
Yeah.
So you got to find them, get their contact information. And do you put that in your SIS?
Right.
Well, no, because they're not a student. It's student information services. It's a prospective student.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to segment those out, and they need different messages.
Yeah.
And so we are actually, I wasn't planning to talk about this today, but we've used these building our CRM systems for how many years now?
5
or 6. Yeah.
Going on 6.
And we're about to release a program that will lease our CRM systems with our pieces for the kind of a do-it-yourself to them, hopefully in the next couple months. And because it's got to be done right.
Yeah.
But then you got to be able to acquire new data, new movers, new lists, and you got massive problems getting that data because of privacy laws, which I like. I'm digging privacy laws.
Definitely.
My wife is a HIPAA lawyer, man. I know, nerdy, but privacy is important, but you can't just go buy student data.
Right.
You can buy likely student data, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got to embed that in a CRM system, I think is the right way to go for sure.
Yeah. You hit on my other point already as far as public schools, like those different facets of competition, because, it's just a variety of what they should focus on, but we focus on the biggest leak and then kind of go from there.
And I would go back to this is kind of helping me is what is the biggest leak right now? Is it kids that aren't going to school? Or is it competition? In most big urban areas in most states now, it's going to be competition. But like North Dakota, for instance, they don't have any school competition. I mean, virtual, online, but they don't have a lot of charter schools and a ton of private schools, and they don't have vouchers and education savings accounts and all those things. So people moving or not moving to the areas, something the school district should be involved in, trying to promote their town, if that's what they want, right? But yeah, I think, okay, my takeaways from this are look, figure out of those 5 things that we established, which one's the biggest leak, start working on that.
Yeah.
and then kind of keep working your way, but realize that the trend lines, I'll end with this, that the trend lines are, this is only going to continue to, if you do nothing, your enrollment's only going to continue to go down.
Yeah.
So start getting ready to close schools, starting to do all this. But don't worry, the charter schools, the private schools, the home schools, they'll start buying your
Sweep 'em right
buildings.
up.
They'll
Yep.
buy your buildings,
Yep.
but they're not going to do as good a job as you. And the way that school choice is designed right now, it's really not fair, but we can get into that another day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You have any last thoughts?
Just from everything, the takeaways that we talked about, I think it's important for districts to realize their individuality and not, it's fine to know what the trends are, know what is happening around, but you also need to be able to identify what's going on in your house, and be able to, yes, check out what's going on next door, but don't compare and really focus on, what needs to happen individually.
Planning.
Yes.
Long-term planning. You know what we ought to do next?
What?
Let's get Linda from Spring Branch. They've been doing a lot of planning on this on years. I got to speak with them at a recent conference. Let's get them in here and see what they've been doing
for sure. That's a great idea.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks.